What's going on, guys? Barbers Through History at Fernandez here is bringing you guys a tutorial on how to do a bowl skin fade. I'm going to be using the Andis ZR with the outliner blade. I definitely recommend getting yourself a little brush that is not too hard. Like, you definitely gotta comb the hair. I'm gonna start by creating my first initial guideline. Now he likes it a little high and very short on top, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to the temple peak point more or less. Another advice that I would like to give you guys is to make sure that whatever line you're creating, your initiating guideline, is pretty much even, symmetrical all the way across. You could also use your T outliner to bowl it out, but the CRs to me so far the best out there. It makes it a lot easier. Whatever you do to one side, of course, I'm gonna speed it up a little bit, and you're gonna end up on the other side. Again, some of my friends also use the 000 blade. It works pretty good. You can definitely use that one. It leaves a little bit more hair, but when I want to get real close, I use the outliners, and it's easier when I use my Andis shavers. And here we're using the Andis Profoil shavers. That's all I use ever since they came out. I had bad experience with the shavers from Wahl. I had to end up replacing the head like almost monthly. Now when you're using the shaver, guys, make sure that you're also going against the grain. Look at the hairs, how they grow in what direction, and flick when you're getting to that initiating guideline that you did with the outliners. Just flick, don't get too close to that line, just flick when you get to the top. Now after you're done with the shaver, here I'm going to be using my Andis Masters, and I'm going to be doing it on the open position. I'm going to create another guideline, open position. Now everybody's different. Some people even create that guideline with the half a little shorter than what I'm doing now. I like to say I'm almost to a little less than the size of the Andis Masters blade, like this. Especially for those new guys starting, it'll give you a little bit more roomway for you to take that initiated guideline and fade a little easier, and you don't have to keep going up and end up with a super high fade. Again, what you're doing the first side, doing the second side. Now I'm going to take my Andis Masters on the close position all the way up. One of the good things about Andis Masters is that it got the notches on the side, and it's easier for you to keep track of where you left off and go notch by notch or every other notch, however you feel more comfortable in fading. Now I'm taking the Andis, and as you can see with a C motion, flicking the wrist, about half of what I did with the Andis open. A little less than the half. Now I'm going to go ahead and open the Andis Masters halfway and work on that other line that I just created. Again, I like to use the corner of the Andis Masters. Doesn't matter if you're on the closed position, on the open position. When you use the corner of the blade, it actually gives you a different cut, and you can actually cut a little deeper to achieve that perfect blend and take those extra little black hairs that you see that doesn't come out very easy. And whatever you do on one side, just keep rotating, and definitely do on the second side, the other side of the head. Now I'm gonna take my Andes Masters again and open it almost all the way open to that first initial guideline that we created with the Andes Masters open. Very close to it. Just make sure you are cutting against the grain. Follow the grain. Now some of the guys, especially in very coarse hair, they've got different colics on the back. Make sure you're brushing constantly so you know exactly what that colic is. Because if you going with the grain and suddenly you cut against the grain, it's gonna take the hair a lot shorter than what you want it to. So make sure you're constantly brushing the hair every time you're cutting. Now here is the double magnetic Andes zero guard, and this I'm going to be on the open position, and I'm going to use it on the actually half close on the top. And he likes the top very short but not super short like in the zero. I'm going with the grain. Make sure you're coning, make sure you're following the grain, make sure you don't have any other colics in the front hairline or on the back. I'm gonna take the size right here with the same Andes double magnetic guard, the zero guard, and I'm going with the grain right on the top to try to create that blend that blends to the top of the hair. Now as you can see here, I'm going with the grain. He has a colic on the back of the head, so I have to make sure that I put a little bit of pressure to get that colic out. Always comb the hair, guys. Make sure you always disinfect your clippers before and after every cleanse. I like to use the Andes Cool Care for that. Now I'm going against the grain with the Andes zero guard double magnetic to get that perfect blend right on the top that I just did with the grain. Now going against the grain just to completely erase that initiating guideline that we created on going with the grain. Now I'm going back to do a little bit of cleanup work. I'm grabbing my Andes Masters on the open position, and I'm gonna use the corner of my blades a lot just to take some of the extra bulk, extra little hairs that I can typically get with the guard or just going straight up. This would make it pretty much a cleanup, doing a completely shape up or different blend. Using the corner will definitely guarantee you a better fade, so keep that in mind. It makes it a little easier. Now always make your client feel comfortable. Always brush the hair, take all the extra hairs out. Here I'll be using the Andes T outliners with a GTX blade or wide tooth blade. The tooth are a little wider, and I also have a zero gap, but it's not completely close to the blade, it's cutting blade itself. Now when you're doing the outline, I like to start on the middle. Always look at the two end corners to make sure which one is higher, which one is lower. You don't want to push the hairline back. You want to keep it kind of natural. Now this is a little trick that I learned from one of my mentors. That initial guideline that we created with the ZRs with the outliner blade, if you take even the ZR with the outliner blade or your T outliners and go lightly to the top on the Z motion, you actually take the whatever little line that you see completely out. Be gentle when you're doing the line. You don't want to put too much pressure into it, especially if your blade is pretty close onto the cutting blade. You'll be doing the cleanup with the razor afterwards. Now here I'm going to be using the Tune 45 shaving gel, guys. This gel is amazing. You could get yours at www.tune45.com. They just came out with this gel. It has it's very it's different of anything that I use. I used a whole bunch of different gels out there. I don't want to give you guys a lot of names out there. They are good, but this one, for some odd reason, I was doing a hot towel shave the other day, and it doesn't irritate the skin. It has aloe in it, and it smells amazing. I actually ordered not too long ago. I think it was 2 days ago. I ordered 3 more. They have a sale going on. They're also going to be at the premiere in Orlando, so make sure you stop by on June 5th and 6th. But tune45.com, that's where you could get that gel. It's only $6, guys, for an 8-ounce bottle. Now, when you're doing the razor, guys, you don't want to put, all you're doing is clean up. You don't want to get into the first initial guideline that you created. Now, a trick that they show me also is, if you take your shavers, I'm using my Andy shaver, and go down on the down motion to that initial guideline that you created, but very, very lightly, it actually created a different blend, and it looks like it's so completely even. Just go very lightly, just raising it on top of it, and that's pretty much it, guys.